You think physical betrayal is the worst kind of infidelity. It's not. The real destruction happens when she gives her heart, her thoughts, her emotional energy to another man while you're standing right there, believing everything is fine. Most men don't even know they're losing her until she's already gone. They mistake emotional distance for stress, secrecy for privacy, and a wandering heart for temporary confusion. But here's the brutal truth. Emotional cheating is deadlier than physical betrayal because it happens in silence. There's no lipstick stain, no hotel receipt, no obvious evidence. Just a slow, quiet erosion of the bond you thought was unbreakable. And by the time you realize what's happening, another man has already claimed the parts of her that once belonged to you. That's why today I'm exposing 9 signs she's emotionally cheating on you. And the 7th one? It's the most dangerous manipulation I've ever seen a woman deploy. It'll make you question your own sanity. Before we dive in, subscribe and hit that like button. Drop a comment telling me what country you're watching from because betrayal doesn't have borders. And if you've ever felt that gut-wrenching suspicion that something's off but couldn't quite prove it, this video is your answer. Now let me show you the first sign, and trust me, this is the one that fools even the smartest men. Sign number 1. She guards her phone like nuclear codes. Remember when her phone used to sit casually on the table, screen up, notifications visible? Remember when you could grab it to check the time or take a photo without her flinching? Those days are gone. Now that phone is an extension of her body, always face down, always within arm's reach, always protected like it contains state secrets. This isn't about privacy. Privacy is healthy. This is about concealment. There's a massive difference. Watch the little things. Does she take her phone to the bathroom? Does she angle the screen away from you when typing? Does she suddenly have a passcode you've never seen before? Or did she change the one you knew? These aren't random security upgrades. These are barriers. She's building walls between you and whatever exists in that digital space. Here's what most men miss. It's not just about hiding messages. It's about protecting a connection that's growing with someone else. Every notification that makes her smile, every message she types with unusual care, every moment she spends staring at that screen while you're in the same room. That's emotional energy flowing away from you and toward him. The psychology here is simple but devastating. When a woman starts emotionally investing in another man, her phone becomes the lifeline to that connection. It's where the conversations happen, where the emotional intimacy builds, where she feels understood in ways she no longer feels with you. And she'll guard it because losing access to him, even digitally, feels like losing oxygen. So pay attention to the shift. Not just the guarding itself, but the intensity of it. Does she panic when you get too close? Does she create elaborate excuses about work emails or group chats? Does she delete conversations immediately after having them? Here's your test. Next time you're together, casually reach for her phone. Not to invade her privacy, but to observe her reaction. A woman with nothing to hide might hand it over without a second thought. A woman emotionally invested elsewhere will react like you just reached for her diary. That reaction, that split-second panic in her eyes, that tells you everything. But the phone is just the gateway. If she's hiding digital conversations, she's also hiding something deeper, something that happens right in front of you. Sign number 2. She mentions just a friend way too often. You know his name now. It slips into conversations more than it should. Maybe it's a coworker. Maybe it's an old friend she reconnected with. Maybe it's someone from her gym or her book club. Whoever he is, he's everywhere. In her stories, in her laughter, in the little comments she makes throughout the day. Oh, Marcus said the funniest thing today. You know what's interesting? Ryan actually agrees with me about that. I was talking to Jake and he thinks, at first you don't think much of it. Friends exist. People have conversations. But then you notice the pattern. His name appears more than your closest friends' names appear in your own stories. She talks about him with a certain lightness, a certain energy that's different from how she talks about other people. And when you ask about him, she's quick to add, he's just a friend, don't be weird about it. That phrase, just a friend, it's the defense mechanism. It's the shield she uses to make you feel like you're overreacting while she continues building something that's anything but platonic. Here's what's really happening. Emotional affairs don't start with intention. They start with connection, a shared joke, a mutual understanding, A conversation that feels refreshing because it's different from the routine at home. She starts looking forward to talking to him. His opinion matters. His attention feels validating. And slowly, without even realizing it at first, she begins sharing parts of herself with him that she used to share only with you. The danger isn't that she has male friends. The danger is the emotional priority she's giving to this particular man. If she's telling him about her day before she tells you, if she's seeking his advice on decisions that affect your relationship, if she's sharing frustrations about you with him, that's not friendship. That's emotional intimacy. And that intimacy is supposed to be yours. Watch for these tells. Does she smile differently when his name comes up? Does she defend him quickly if you express any concern? Does she compare you to him, even subtly? Those comparisons, even innocent-sounding ones, reveal where her mind is spending time. And here's the cruel part. She'll make you feel like the bad guy for noticing. She'll call you insecure, controlling, paranoid. She'll flip the script so you're defending yourself instead of addressing the real issue, which is that another man is occupying emotional space that belongs to you. So here's your move. Don't argue. Don't defend. Simply observe how much energy she invests in this friendship compared to what she invests in you. Because if she's pouring more effort into maintaining that connection than nurturing yours, the label doesn't matter. The damage is already being done. But it gets worse. Because it's not just who she talks about, it's who she stops talking to. And that person is you. Sign number 3. Deep conversations disappear. There was a time when you talked about everything. Late-night conversations about dreams, fears, the meaning of life. You shared thoughts you didn't share with anyone else. She told you things that made her vulnerable, and you did the same. That's what built the foundation. That's what made you more than just a couple. You were connected. But now, the well has run dry. Conversations are surface level. How was your day? Fine. What do you want for dinner? Whatever. Did you hear about that thing? Yeah. It's like talking to someone who's physically present, but emotionally checked out. You can feel the distance in her words, or rather, in her lack of them. Here's the psychology behind this. Emotional energy is finite. A woman can only invest so much depth into her connections. When she's pouring her thoughts, her feelings, her vulnerabilities into someone else, there's nothing left for you. She's not withholding on purpose at first. She's simply depleted because she's already given that part of herself away. And here's the devastating part. She's probably having those deep conversations with him, the man whose name keeps coming up, the just a friend. He's getting the version of her that you used to know, the one who opens up, who laughs at existential questions, who shares fears and dreams. You're getting the hollow version, the one who nods and scrolls through her phone while you try to connect. Most men respond to this by trying harder. They ask more questions, they initiate deeper topics, they try to recreate what used to come naturally. But you can't force someone to open up when their heart is already occupied elsewhere. The more you push, the more she retreats. Not because she doesn't care, but because the intimacy she craves is already being fulfilled by someone else. So what do? You test the depth. Next time you're together, bring up something meaningful. Not to prove a point, but to see if she engages. Share something vulnerable about yourself and watch her response. Does she lean in? Does she ask questions? Does she reciprocate with her own vulnerability? Or does she deflect, change the subject, or offer surface-level comfort before moving on? That response tells you where you stand, because a woman who's emotionally invested in you will always meet your depth with her own. A woman who's emotionally invested elsewhere can't. She doesn't have it to give. And here's the hardest truth. You can't compete for emotional intimacy. Either she chooses to invest in you or she doesn't. No amount of effort on your part will change that. Your job isn't to win her back through more effort. Your job is to recognize when she's already gone and decide whether you're willing to stay in a relationship that's missing the very thing that made it real. But if you think silent withdrawal is painful, wait until you see what happens when she starts protecting him in ways she never protects you. Sign number 4. She defends him more than she defends you. This one cuts deep because it reveals where her loyalty truly lies. You criticize something minor about this other man, maybe a joke, maybe a comment about his behavior, and she springs into action. Defensive, protective, almost offended that you dare question him. He's not like that. You don't even know him. That's not what he meant. You're misunderstanding. Why are you being so judgmental? But when someone else criticizes you, silence. Or worse, she agrees. She laughs along. She doesn't jump to your defense the way she does for him. And that imbalance, that's the knife in your back. Here's what's happening psychologically. When a woman emotionally bonds with another man, she begins to see him through a lens of grace and understanding. She gives him the benefit of the doubt automatically. She fills in his gaps with generous interpretations. Meanwhile, you, the man she's supposed to be bonded with, you get held to impossible standards. Your mistakes are magnified, your flaws are cataloged, your intentions are questioned. This is a defense mechanism. By painting you as flawed and him as misunderstood, she justifies the emotional affair in her mind. She's not doing anything wrong. She's just connecting with someone who gets her in ways you supposedly don't. And the more she defends him, the more she convinces herself that what she's doing is harmless. Watch how she talks about both of you in social settings. Does she make jokes at your expense while praising his qualities? Does she excuse his behavior while criticizing yours for the same thing? Does she light up when defending him, but stay neutral or dismissive when you need her support? That's not about fairness. That's about emotional alignment. Her heart is shifting, and her words follow. She's building him up because she's emotionally invested in how he's perceived, not just by others, but by herself. Defending him is her way of validating her own feelings for him. And here's the brutal reality. A woman who defends another man more passionately than she defends her own partner has already made a choice, even if she hasn't admitted it yet. Her loyalty has transferred, her protection has transferred, and eventually, her heart will follow. So what's your move? Don't compete. Don't demand equal defense. Don't fight for her loyalty through arguments. Instead, recognize what this reveals. Her emotional investment is elsewhere. And once you see that clearly, you can make a decision based on reality, not hope. But loyalty isn't the only thing she's giving away. If you watch closely, you'll notice she's also giving him something even more valuable: her time. Sign number 5. Her schedule suddenly has mysterious gaps. Time doesn't lie. Where she spends her hours tells you where her priorities are. And when a woman starts emotionally cheating, her schedule develops gaps, pockets of time that don't quite add up, explanations that feel rehearsed but hollow. She's working late again, but when you ask about the project, the details are vague. She's meeting up with friends, but when you ask who, the names shift or she gets defensive. She needs alone time, but that alone time always seems to coincide with when this other man is available. Here's the truth. People make time for what matters. If she's carving out hours for someone else, whether it's in person or through endless text conversations, she's making him a priority. And every hour invested there is an hour taken from you. Most men don't connect the dots because the gap seems small at first. An extra 30 minutes here, a weekend afternoon there. But patterns build. And when you step back and look at the cumulative time she's spending engaging with him versus engaging with you, the imbalance becomes undeniable. The psychology here is about emotional fulfillment. She's not just passing time with him, she's seeking something: connection, validation, excitement, understanding. And she's organizing her life to ensure she gets it. Those mysterious gaps aren't random, they're intentional. She's protecting the time she needs to nurture this emotional bond. Watch for the excuses. Are they getting more elaborate? More defensive? Does she snap when you ask simple questions about where she was or what she did? That defensiveness is guilt. She knows she's allocating her time in ways that betray the relationship, and your questions force her to confront it. Here's your test. Suggest spending time together during one of these gaps. Propose a date, an activity, something that would occupy the space she usually fills with him. Watch her reaction. Does she light up and make it happen? Or does she find reasons why it won't work? Why she's too busy? Why it has to be another time? If she's consistently unavailable for you but always seems to find time for him, you already have your answer. But time is just the surface. What's even more revealing is what she stops doing for you while doing more for him. Sign number 6. She stops seeking your opinion on important decisions. Partnership means decisions are made together. When something significant comes up, her job, her friendships, her goals, she used to turn to you first. Your opinion mattered. Your perspective shaped her choices. That's what being a team means. But now, radio silence. She makes decisions without you, And when you find out after the fact, she brushes it off like it's no big deal. I didn't think it was important enough to bother you. I already knew what I wanted to do. I got advice from someone else. That last one, that's the giveaway. Who's the someone else? If it's him, if she's seeking his input on decisions that affect your relationship, your future, your life together, then she's already replaced you as her primary advisor. His voice carries more weight than yours. His opinion shapes her choices more than yours does. This is one of the clearest signs of emotional transfer. When a woman values another man's perspective over her partner's, it means she trusts his judgment more. She respects his insight more. She cares more about what he thinks. And that shift, that's the foundation crumbling. Here's the psychology. Decision-making is intimate. It requires vulnerability, trust, and the belief that the other person has your best interests at heart. When she stops including you in that process, it's not just about independence, it's about emotional disconnection. She no longer sees you as her primary support system. He is. Pay attention to the decisions she makes without you. Are they small or significant? Is she excluding you from choices that directly impact you? Is she making plans that affect your relationship without asking how you feel? And here's the painful question you need to ask yourself. If she's building her future with input from another man, where do you fit in that future? Sign number 7. She compares you to him, directly or indirectly. This is the manipulation tactic I warned you about. It's subtle, devastating, and incredibly effective at making you question yourself. She starts comparing you to him, sometimes directly, but more often in ways that feel indirect, almost innocent. He's so easy to talk to. He really listens, you know. I wish you were more like, and then she catches herself, but the damage is done. Or worse, she doesn't say it out loud. She just starts holding you to standards that seem to align perfectly with his qualities. If he's spontaneous, she suddenly criticizes you for being too planned. If he's career-focused, she resents your work-life balance. If he's emotionally expressive, she complains that you don't open up enough. Here's the manipulation. By comparing you to him, she makes you feel inadequate. She plants the seed that you're not enough, that you're lacking something essential. And in doing so, she justifies her emotional investment in him. It's not her fault she's drawn to him. It's your fault for not being more like him. This is emotional gaslighting at its finest. She's rewriting the narrative to make you the problem while she's the victim of your shortcomings. And if you fall for it, you'll spend all your energy trying to change, trying to become more like him, trying to win her back by erasing yourself. But here's the truth. You're not the problem. Her inability to remain emotionally faithful is. A loyal woman doesn't measure her partner against other men. She doesn't keep a mental scorecard of where you fall short compared to someone else. She either chooses you or she doesn't. So when you hear those comparisons, don't defend yourself. Don't try to improve based on his standards. Instead, recognize what's really happening. She's using him as a weapon against you. And the only way to win that battle is to refuse to fight it. But comparisons aren't even the final blow. There's something even more devastating that happens when emotional cheating reaches its peak. Sign number 8. She emotionally withdraws from physical intimacy. Physical intimacy and emotional connection are intertwined. When one dies, the other follows. And when a woman is emotionally cheating, her body reflects what her heart already knows. She's no longer fully yours. She pulls away from touch. She avoids eye contact during intimacy. She goes through the motions, but there's no presence, no warmth, no soul in it. And you feel it. You feel that hollow space where connection used to live. Here's the psychology. A woman who's emotionally invested in another man can't fake genuine desire for you. Her body betrays her. She might participate out of obligation, out of guilt, out of a desperate attempt to convince herself nothing's wrong. But the spark is gone. The passion is gone. Because her emotional energy is already being consumed elsewhere. And here's the painful part. She might not even realize it at first. She might genuinely believe she's still invested in you. But emotions don't lie. When her heart is with him, her body can't pretend otherwise. Watch for the patterns. Has intimacy become rare? Does she avoid initiation? Does she seem distracted or disconnected when it does happen? Does she shut down emotionally right after? These aren't signs of low libido or stress. These are signs that her emotional bond with you is fractured. And when emotional connection dies, physical intimacy becomes just another task. something to check off the list, not something to cherish. Sign number 9. Your gut screams something is wrong. You can't always articulate it. You can't always point to one specific moment, but deep in your gut, something is screaming at you. Something is off. Something has changed. And no matter how much she reassures you, no matter how much you try to rationalize it away, that feeling won't leave. Trust it. Your intuition isn't paranoia. It's pattern recognition. It's your subconscious connecting dots your conscious mind hasn't fully processed yet. And when it comes to emotional cheating, your gut often knows before you do. Don't let her convince you you're crazy. Don't let her gaslight you into doubting what you feel. Because in most cases, that instinct is right. And ignoring it costs you time, energy, and self-respect you'll never get back. So there you have it. 9 signs she's emotionally cheating on you. And if even 3 of these signs are present in your relationship, you owe it to yourself to confront reality. This isn't about paranoia. It's about protecting your emotional energy, your dignity, and your future. Because loving someone who's giving her heart to another man isn't love, it's self-betrayal. If you found value in this video, subscribe, like, and share it with a man who needs to hear this. Drop a comment sharing your experience or which sign hit you the hardest. And remember, your standards are not negotiable. Protect them like your future depends on it, because it does.